Monday morning and another job. So this one I've got a lot of dusting down to do, a lot of cleaning on the ceiling. All these beams, that central beam there is floating, so there's a lot of dust on the top of it, a lot of cobwebs sitting in the corners. But the main issue on this job is skirting board. So I've had a new floor put in, and you can see the skirting board's been lifted off, put back. So there's a lot of gaps that need looking at. But it's all the way round on this one, obviously. So first job, do all my cleaning, all my dusting, and get that ceiling ready. That's all the gap filling foam put in. So at the moment I'm just in the process now of going around and cleaning the edges of the beams, removing the plaster. So you can see on that one there, plaster on the edge. This has been re-skimmed, this. A bit more around there. Not a great deal, but looks a lot better when it's like that rather than like that. That's all the prep done. I've been round, cleaned all the beams off, and any edges that needed touching up, I've just added a bit of stain to the edge of the beams. So when I paint up to these, I get a nice neat edge. Nothing worse than emulsion paint on beams. So looking a lot better. And then all the skirting boards, I've been round, done all the foaming, done all the filling. So that's all my prep done. I'm ready just to give the walls a light sand, touch up any areas, and then give it all a coat after doing my ceiling. That just wants a coat of emulsion on it now. And this is what I'll be putting on. It's really good stuff. I'm not going to use a roller on this ceiling. I've just got my 3-inch brush. I'm just going to crack on, get it painted. And that's the larger side of the ceiling done. Brought each one along. So it does look a bit rough because that's not plaster on the ceiling. It's a type of fiberboard, this is, because you can see on this end where they've not quite completed it all, because it really is a bit of an awkward spot. So just here is the end of the board, the fiberboard, and then these now are floorboards which sit on top of this joist. So as they come along, you can see where they've not even been painted at this point, because that is a really narrow gap. So I will get a brush up there and I'll paint these boards in. Any marks like this, just get a damp cloth and try and rub them out. Anything that's a bit stubborn that doesn't want to come out, get yourself some very smooth sandpaper and just give it a rub over, get rid of it. Save a lot of messing about, get the paint cover a bit easier. That's all the emulsion paint on. All the walls finished now. I've left the cupboard open there to help it dry out. See how yellow them shelves are there. So again, all that'll be going water-based gloss. Skirting's looking okay now. Again, just standing out because they're a bit yellow. Looking okay. And all the woodwork, that's the gloss I'm going to be using. I'm going to apply that with a natural bristle brush. So working near this wooden floor, what I am going to do is a scraper and cloth, and then if I do go on, then I can just straight under and that'll take away anything. But it's all about preference. You know, if you prefer using a synthetic brush, then by all means, you know, if you do find it better, not a problem. But if you are in the trade, you will notice that you'll start to run out of oil brushes very quick, and you seem to be replacing your synthetics at a rate which is not economical. I do find these a good brush. And then when you're cutting in against the floor, just, even if you're a millimetre off the bottom, that's okay. You won't notice it when you stood up. These natural bristle brushes, they don't tend to scratch the gloss the same. They are a lot kinder, a lot softer on it. And the trick is with this stuff, once it's on, try and leave it, because your brush marks will slowly come out. Oil paint quickly settles, sits back really quick. This stuff, just a little bit slower to sit back. And that's all white back. So next step is, with this brush, straight into warm soapy water. And while I'm on with this, I'll just show you, this is the packaging that the brush came in. Obviously this is a natural bristle, pure bristle. Look at it. So it says there, for a perfect finish with solvent based paints. Yeah. And we start to look more into the packaging, because 9 times out of 10 people will just open this and throw it away. But you need to read the information on it, because when we start to dig deeper, you know, we go further into it, and then here we have clean and cure, cleaning and cure. So you'd expect, with this being a pure bristle for solvent based paints, that on the clean up they would list the solvent based coatings above water-based coatings. So for your water-based paints, this is your clean up. So always read the product information when you're buying your equipment, so then you know what you're using. So the back of this lamp was creating all this black on the wall. So what I've decided to do is, using one of these silicone pads, I'm just going to pop it on this back edge, so it'll just prevent it happening again. There's nothing worse than something like that spoiling a job. So that'll sit just on the back there. You see that? Back, and you can see why it needed that water-based paint. All that skirting board sat at the back. So not too bad. It's all hidden. That's the door, water-based gloss too. And window seat. Yeah, looking good. These beams, again, whenever you're doing anything like this, these were already done, but if they were new, seal your beams first, stain them, and then bring your walls in. And try not going on to the beams, keep on the wall, and it just makes a neater job. But they're looking really smart now then. Inside of the cupboard, a lot better now. Those shelves will stay white. If you're ever putting anything like this in, I mean, these have been in here, well, obviously since the house was built, but I would advise wax these, don't stain them, because these are so pitted and lots of dinges in them. It'd be a much better to use a wax than use a varnish or a stain. Again, these didn't want doing, but I've been round and cleaned and touched up everywhere, so they're looking pretty good now. Nice sealing that now.